The good thing about trees, the trees in these woods, is they're very viney. So I can like, my tripod I was literally just throwing at the tree and it's stuck to the tree. So we've had a bit of a cover in the snow again. I'll show you. That's more hail, but there is there was a light coating earlier and then it's just been hailing. The weather's beautiful. Like you just don't. There's something about being outside when the ground's soggy. I'm warm, but I'm still cold. There's something quite nice about being cold. I'm having a really hard day today. I just don't really feel motivated. It's the first day in a good month where I actually didn't want to come out and make one of these videos. I woke up really late, 2 p.m. and I really stopped going on my phone when I wake up, and I wasted like an hour just doing nothing. And I woke up and then I did have some work to do, but I just sort of strolled through it and I wasn't really enjoying it. I think you've always got to enjoy the work you do in life, or otherwise there really is no point. And then my parents are home, so I couldn't go into. I'm sort of staying living with my parents. We've moved onto a boat, but the boat's in the middle of getting refurbished, so I've had to move back with my parents, and it's hard to get space, and all my gym stuff I couldn't get to today because my family are around. So, and even if I could, I couldn't. I just had no motivation to work out, and I had no motivation to come out and shoot one of these videos. So I sort of forced myself out because there was nothing else to do. When I lack in motivation, it's not like I even want to watch TV. Everything just begins to bore me. So I feel like I'm stuck in a bit of a routine. Even coming to these woods, I feel I'm stuck in a bit of a routine. But when I started walking out, I felt so much better already. And it was hailing really heavy, and it put a smile on my face. I love crazy weather. I love being out in crazy weather. Sometimes I know it's very safe, but in the middle of a thunderstorm, just drive out in the middle of nowhere and just let the rain hit against the car and see the thunder crackle in the background. There's something really nice about it. So yeah, I wanted to talk today about having no motivation, because I had no motivation today. So it's a good time to talk about it. And I think one of the reasons, my generation, we pride ourselves on not having an identity, but I think that becomes a problem because I myself float with so many. There's so many. I feel like there's so many different versions of me. There's versions of me like this, where I'm a little bit more downbeat. There's versions where I'm really silly. There's versions where I'm really lazy, but it's sort of a fun lazy, or sort of like a lovable rogue lazy. There's days where I'm highly motivated. There's days when I'm very agitated. I feel my personality goes through. I feel like my personality doesn't really have a baseline. That's why I want to stop drinking coffee, and was drinking any caffeine. I stopped smoking, and I never really smoked, but I like to do it socially and or now and again. I wanted to get rid of all the stimulants and just see if I can find a baseline personality, but it's hard. I mean, I should be trying to learn a language. I get part of motivation is you shouldn't be hard on yourself, but I should be trying to learn a language or read a book or something. I know I should be doing those things, but I always tell myself, I'll do it tomorrow. The master procrastination. The good thing is now, and the thing I'm not too hard on myself, I have actually put my money where my mouth is. I want to be a filmmaker. I've made 3 feature films now. I've made music videos. I've written books. But even when I break that down, COVID killed my career, killed it stone dead. So I feel like I've lost a piece of my life, and I feel like it's a piece I can never get back. Because just as I made it, it was taken away from me, and it sort of zapped all my motivation. But in another way, it kind of didn't. It kind of bounced me away because I actually have done more in COVID than I actually have done my whole career. But I think that's just because I guess I'm a pro now. But there's many things what I beat myself up over, and it's like the first producer I had my film, I got rid of, and I got another producer, and he went through alcoholism through COVID, and then I lost him. My film got tied up in a lot of shit. I had no motivation to get my film out of the mess. I walk around and I keep telling everybody that people keep asking where's the film, when we're gonna get to see your film, and the truth is, I was that overworked, and I was that how my life looked. I mean, I was I was smoking the garden, and then I'd have 5 or 6 black coffees to just try and find some energy. I really enjoyed it when my personality was high. I was feeling good, and I was texting people, and I was hanging out with people, but I wasn't myself when I was hanging out with them because I had this high octane energy. I always feel like if I didn't have that, they wouldn't appreciate being around me as much. And then I was writing books, and I was trying to get book deals, and I was messaging all different people, and I tried to write a book, and it was going to be called Writing Our World Back, and it was going to be, I was going to try and get 700 random strangers to write, well, not 700, like 300 random strangers to write a page and donate to this charity. I thought it'd be a good idea. And there's like a book written by the world. Somebody's going to steal that idea now, do it. It's not as easy as it as it sounds. Yeah, I know these are just the minor things, but I just started learning how to drive an automatic car. I've always driven manual in my life. It only takes like a day to learn, but it just every day I was doing something like that, just trying to learn something new. My life was changing in so many different ways. I was even introduced new. I had not come from a family what was interested in stocks or interested in accumulating money. My family have always been work for money and then work for the next paycheck, keep working to the next paycheck. But I got myself into a system and surrounded by people where we're building stuff now, and we're building businesses. I launched a business in lockdown, so all this stuff completely tired me out. And then people, I'm literally spinning a million plates, and a lot of people would give me advice. Well, why don't you just do one thing at once? And it doesn't work like that. It's like I don't know what thing is going to make me money. So if I send this book out to try and get a book deal, I don't know if that's the thing what's going to pull off. I'm going to be able to pull that off. And then, so I was getting emails for films, I was getting emails for books, emails about the business. I was getting stuff everywhere. And also, I'm a human being as well, so I wanted a lot of downtime. So you start to realize you can't really fit it all in the 24 hours, and I just kept blaming myself. I kept thinking, why haven't I got what he or she has, who's also an artist, and I've done way more than them? So I was getting very bitter. I don't think there's anybody really at my age, 25, who works in art, who has tried to do as much as I've done. I'm not saying that's a good thing, by the way, but I'm just proud of it. But yet again, I still feel like I'm clawing around. I was just about to list my achievements there, but I even tried to launch a music label. That's how insane I was. Last year I tried to launch a music label. It never got off the ground. But it was actually kind of close. That's the interesting thing. I just partnered with the wrong people. It was going to be an indie music label that was going to support local. There's a lot of local bands in my area that are really good and don't really get a good push. So that's the thing. And then I get advice from different coins. I'm getting people saying, just focus on your own stuff. Don't worry about other people. But I'm like, I like helping other people. I get a kick out of that as well. I sort of also realized I had a problem of I wanted to control everything. Like I wanted to be a manager who sort of controlled. I really like the idea of organizing gigs for bands, and um, I still really do like that idea. But when I've got nothing inside me to give anymore, I remember one day it was at night. A rapper I work with phoned me up and said, "Okay, let's do a music video." I was like, "All right, let's go." So we went out at 9 p.m. and we shot a music video over like 6 hours. We were just hanging out, drinking beer, um, driving around, whatever, to early hours in the morning. Came back. This is in the same morning. Uh, Started trying to edit. I wanted to try and start a football video because I love football edits. So I started trying to edit this football video. It wasn't going very well. I didn't have the correct things. Then that's the exact day I tried to launch the music label. I just messaged the people. I was like, "Look, I've got all these musicians I'm friends with. Let's try and get them all together under one roof um and launch the label." And the problem was I was back in my own hometown. My own hometown, it's very hard to get anything done. I literally live in the middle of nowhere, and my town is very set in its ways, and it doesn't really forget the past. To be fair, the town I actually hang out in, what I call my hometown, is actually kind of not my hometown. It's my address, but I'm actually bordering to another town. But it's very hard. There's a reason why artists move out of their local towns, because they struggle in the small towns to get anything done. So yeah, a couple of the bands I instantly worked out. A couple of bands wasn't very happy that I was trying to they thought I was just trying to profit, and I kind of was, but it wasn't like that. This is the thing, I do genuinely care. That sounds really nice. I'm not a religious person, but I always do think there's something pseudo-religious about when the sun comes out at random moments, to sort of lift your spirit a bit. I think about that earlier, why the sun does lift your spirit. So yeah, the people what I was doing, because we were going to do a thing where we were going to just shoot loads of music videos for free for bands to build the label a bit, and then attract bands from the area. And me and my long-term collaborator were just going to set and shoot things up. But he was sold on the idea, and he liked the idea, but he didn't really help me push it. He was like, "All right, I'll be at the finishing line. I need your help, dude." So, and then like I said, some of the bands weren't too happy that I was trying this. I think I did stand on somebody's toes when one of the more older gentlemen who's been singing his whole life felt like I was just like, "Oh, here I am. I know what I'm doing." You see, I've hung around with musicians since I was probably about 20, so like 5 years now. I've known a few. I've been to all the recording studios, and I'm not saying I know how to make a band, but I definitely know how to book gigs, and I don't know. I felt like it was all in the same boat. Like I was never really claiming to be like a music producer or anything like that. I saw it as a way as I get to shoot loads. I love shooting music videos, so I saw it as a way I get to shoot loads of music videos. Also help the area out, because I do have a love and affiliation for the area, and I wanted to try and build that. I don't know. I thought it'd just be like a cool platform. I also thought it'd be a cool piece of history. Something really, cool to look back on. But it was just clear it wasn't working out. The people who was interested were actually interested in doing it, but they just weren't willing to put their time in. And when they actually tried to show me, I could sort of tell they knew it wasn't going to work. And they were actually kind of right, because I said, we'll use this building and we can edit in this building and we can bring the bands to the building. And then I started trying to ask some of the bands what were working around the area and could get to that building, and they didn't really seem too keen on the idea. I started to work out that musicians, and I should have known this because I've been hanging around with them, and also myself. Musicians are very private people, and and I also fall victim to this. They're very headstrong, and it's why they're not always the best to date. It's why dating an artist, it's why kind of dating a musician kind of dies out. after you're 20 or whatever, 23, 4, because you kind of do need somebody real. I mean, I kind of do pride myself on. I think I do have I can paint the skirting boards and I can get shit together. So I think that's what makes me slightly different. But I also what puts me back in with the artists and musicians. You know, they're a stubborn bunch, and it's very hard to get a band together as well, because obviously they all disagree. There's an image thing with the band as well. They have to look cool. So when you shoot a music video, they have to look like. A lot of musicians turned to me because I was sort of producing something artsy for them. I think it was a little challenging for them at first, but I think they began to like it. But a lot of bands just do prefer the basic edits. So yeah, it's a hard thing to navigate. It's not. I thought it would just be. I was a friend of bands. I was gonna get this label together. When I say a label, I don't want it to make it sound like an actual proper music label. It's just like a thing where bands could go get something shot. It wasn't gonna be selfish as well. I was gonna get over like video creators to come in and help shoot. I don't know. I just thought it'd be a nice platform, but that was also on the same day, and that didn't work. And then I got into loads of arguments with a couple of the bands after. I think, like I said, one of them just felt like I was just stepping on his toes because he's been around the music industry, he knows all this sort of stuff, and he's like, I think he knew. I think he was a bit annoyed that I could do that I could. But back then, and still kind of now, I had a lot of contacts and a lot of things going for me. I've kind of died that down a bit now on purpose. So I think he was kind of annoyed at that. But I think it's also because I think he also slowly wanted my attention on his stuff. And then the other band, exactly the same problem. They just wanted, they wanted to make videos every like 6 months. They didn't want it to be mass produced. So I think they felt like I was, trying to mass produce something. But it wasn't really that. I've just always learned to just try and get ahead. Which is why I've done so many things. It's not necessarily because I'm trying to mass produce. It's like I could happily wake up and shoot a music video a day. I don't know what that would mean. I don't know if it would actually further my career anymore, but I would definitely appreciate because basically fundamentally I just I just love making things. That's why I'm here. I love that process. I love just being in recording studios and not in that hanging around with artists. I don't like that side of it. I don't like hanging around and I don't like being in that world. But I like being in recording studios, try and make something, try and get something together. It's an addiction. What you just get this buzz of it overwhelms your body when you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually about to pull this off, or oh my god, that's a brilliant idea. How about we use strobe lighting? And then you start thinking what the video's going to look like, and it's just incredible. So yeah, on that day I tried to do too many things. I think even at night, I think I went to go shoot something else as well. I hadn't slept, and that's basically what my life was like. And I've had to slow it down, otherwise, God knows where I would be. So me losing my motivation comes out of trying to work too hard and burn myself out and not really being sure of my identity. And I feel bad that I kind of burn myself for these opportunities. I shouldn't feel bad for trying to start a label because I'm an ambitious kid, and at the end of the day we all have to try. But I did let people gaslight me. I mean, I started a successful production company basically out of nothing, and I kind of almost started a thing where I could publish other writers, like self-publish them, give them a hand, and keep them a kick in the right direction. But yeah, you realise you can't really try and save everybody else. It's why I stopped giving out advice. Those people were messaging me for advice, and I'd give it them, and I would always question the advice I'm giving them. And I was like, and I always, it's like, look, I'm the one who made the thing. I'm the one with the contacts. And I did it like this. And I told them the right answer. I didn't tell them any bullshit. I just told them I got a little bit confident. I called some people. You have to face a day where you're not going to be able to live a day. Like many days I woke up very early to get a bus to go somewhere, try and film something, and that whole day was gone. You gotta really want to be able to do it as well. It's got to be something you gotta, and you've just got to keep going and just keep believing, not in a delusional way. I also said it's good advice. You got to know where you're at and know your level, and try and get out your level if you want, but just appreciate where you are. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to give you a lot of criticism along the way, because as soon as you start trying to do anything with your life, you become public enemy, you become a target. And that's not people always, I get this a lot of people saying that I'm obsessed with being hated. There's a little bit of me where it's just the world I grew up in. Like everybody was, you see, everything now is going online, so there's kind of nothing wrong with what I'm doing anymore. Like editing and content creators is all what is in demand, because we're all just consuming so much. So now I'm kind of looking kind of favourable amongst my family. My family are just starting to find things on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, you could do something like this, or oh, this is what you have been doing. So people start to understand more. And the era I grew up in, the jobs what my parents had were no longer really going to provide for me. And the era I live in is changing so much. Like, it's not necessarily that the jobs aren't appealing anymore or parents had. They're just not. They're just not feasible to a modern lifestyle, or they have literally no benefits. And I've always been pushed by people to achieve the best I can, and then when you do, people seem to get a little bit annoyed, so you get sort of cornered. And as soon as you do anything, like one of these videos, or you just do anything where people, you're doing something a little bit outside the box, or you're thinking, you're trying to be. I don't even necessarily think I'm trying to be successful. I think I'm just trying to. I don't know what it is. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and it doesn't make me any different to anybody else. Everybody has to pay the bills in different ways, and everybody has. It's a very arrogant thing, but we all. I mean, we don't all not have the same chances. That's not true, but we all. I mean, none of this has been easy for me. None of it. 0% of this has been easy for me. Every single step has been hard. It's even hard now. In some ways, I feel people have got better chances than me. I know people who have had rich parents, and the parents have bought them really expensive film equipment. I've had to get bar jobs to buy all my cameras, and these kids got handed them. But it really is what you do with what you've got given. In many ways, me not having anything has made me more hungry. I think it's quite a dangerous thing to be content. So to take us back on track, I just don't know. I don't know what people want from me. I know what I want for myself, but the landscape changes. So, my parents and my family once did almost try and provoke me in many ways. I'm starting to look like a fan now. And you trundle on into the world, and then you think, well, what is this for? What I'm doing? Who is this for? It's not all for me. A lot of it is for me, and my I want to. I think originally if you was to ask me why I'm doing this, it's because I want to leave something behind what is as interesting and diverse and intelligent as I feel I am. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I'd probably say I was doing these videos, because I want to really show off what I was like as a person. I'm proud that I'm honest. I'm proud. I'm even proud I grew my hair out. Like, I was in a society where just having one on the side or two on top was that was it. There's a few guys around my ends what now grow their hair out, and it's respect. It doesn't matter what your haircut is, by the way. I'm not, you know, I love short haircuts and I love long haircuts. I actually didn't used to like long haircuts because it was ingrained in me in the culture that people who had long haircuts were hippies and lazy and dropouts, and they probably sold drugs. And then there's one day I just started growing my hair out, and then everybody was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "This is me. No, I'm serious." Like, it was it just felt good. It just felt natural. It just felt, maybe there's a bit of it was about image, but the rest definitely was just because it felt like the thing to do. But I face criticism, and that's what I mean. It's why I kind of sometimes do feel sorry for people who are wealthy or are successful or do. I mean, there's different types, isn't there? There's people that do have money and they're a bit show offy, and it's more just. I think real rich people don't actually show off the money they've got because they're earners and the business people, and they might have a sports car, but they don't necessarily want to shove it in your face. But then people what aren't really rich but have a bit of money like to show off the cars they've got and their gold teeth and their gold watches. I always think it's been like that. I think the most successful people you can't really tell they're successful. I've seen many people that have stacks of cash and they dress like I'm dressed now. So I think when people are really successful, they become quite humble. Usually, depends what you're in. I know if you're a celebrity, it doesn't really count. I'm not really talking about celebrities. I'm talking about normal business tycoons. So we all want to be successful. We want to achieve. I mean, it's sort of forced on us for everything we watch and for the society we live in. And if we don't succeed, we feel like we're failing. And we try and I see all my friends trying to hide. I even try and do it. We try and hide our smiles. We can tell we're struggling inside because we feel like we're lacking. And then you can just tell in the smile. I remember I brought a dude onto my boat, and the dude was giving me this nervous look of like, "Oh shit, how have you got this?" And I wanted to tell you a lot of this is through circumstance. I got this boat because me and my girlfriend went broke. That's why I'm on this boat. We couldn't afford to rent it anymore, so the only thing we could think of was trying to live in a boat. And we saw some YouTube videos, and we went to a canal, and we saw people, and we liked adventures, so we're like, "Oh, let's try and do that." So then you made me think, "Oh, he's really thinking, how do you get that bravery to do that?" I also have those problems. I also look at people and like, how do you... I knew nothing about DIY. I was brought up in a generation where I wasn't really taught about DIY or how to fix a latch on the door or anything. So when I look at the boat and I have to maintain it, I don't want to ask anybody because I feel like I should know. It's intimidating, but it's weird. I hide it. I sort of rub it off as a joke and pretend it's not. Just sort of pretend I'm this guy, stereotypical guy who doesn't want to do. I pretend a bit of a Gen Z really, and just don't want to. DIY is beneath me, even though I quite like it. So when you become a success and I thought I could not wait. So, or you can check my podcast out. I'll also start putting links in the bottom so you can check that stuff out. I started meeting artists who are also doing really cool shit, and That's what I always wanted. Oh, it'd be great. Yeah, I want to be accepted by my peers. And then you meet them and they're so different to you, or they don't actually like you, or you don't actually like them, or you work so hard to get into the room, so to speak, get invited to all these places, these cocktail events, and you get into them and they're kind of just awful, kind of soul crushing, and they make you feel a little bit dirty, like you need to shower, and it's all business, and you say things. What I've said so many things, but I wish I'd never said. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try and get him. I'm gonna try and sign him, or her, so then I can get one of their songs, so I can put it in my film. Just stuff like that. Just scheming, isn't it? It's always scheming. That's all we're doing. I never used to talk like that. That was never me. And then people say you're just rejecting the stuff you're getting given. People get annoyed. People are like, look, you're in a privileged position to go to these places, and it's like it's not really that great going to these places. Like maybe try and get to these places yourself, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But people don't believe you. I mean, some people may really enjoy these places or enjoy these things. They just feel completely unnatural to me and kind of unworkable. So yeah, when you get success doesn't mean anything. It just means you have to try even harder now because you're on another level. And more people are watching. We're all told we need to do this. People think that when I start doing this YouTube channel, that people won't know about it, which I think is my girlfriend. I think some of my family might know I'm doing something. They think, oh, they want this to take off, and that just puts pressure on me. It's like, take off into what? And I think a lot of it is because I do have this nihilistic view on the world, so I'm always thinking, what? Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'm just trying to keep warm. So I just think, in the back of my head, it's like, what are we doing? What do things mean? Could I be doing something better? The reason why I wanted to make a feature film before I was 25, and this is gonna be the truth now. I've told a few people this. This gonna be an exclusive scoop. Is because I heard Orson Welles made Citizen Kane at 25 or something like that. I admired that so much. I thought I had to do that myself. I have made 3 films from 25. I haven't made Citizen Kane. I haven't made something that good yet. But I gave myself this unrealistic thing of, not necessarily it's unrealistic, that I felt like I was good enough to try and get that thing, and I think I've done something as interesting and slightly different. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'll just end it like this, actually, because a lot of people always, I can always feel it sort of burning through the camera. I don't know if it's one of the things where I think people are thinking that, but people are always thinking, okay, so where is your stuff? But I did a talk in college, and the kids were like, right, where can we actually see your stuff? And even back then, there's a lot of it I couldn't really talk about because I didn't really want to jinx it, because I had it in different positions. And so this is, you can believe me on this if you want or not, but it is the truth. My life is so fucking busy, and I've done so much, but at the same time I'm also very lazy. Because my life is so busy, I spend a lot of time just sitting around doing nothing, because it's sort of a counterweight to what's happening in my life. My life is going that fast, I have to just do nothing just to slow it down. And I like doing nothing. I enjoy just doing fuck all. So, I'm in a village where there's no media around here, so it's hard to get access to things. the higher up the tree you go, people really want to meet you. If you're getting a proper deal, you can't just really do it over Zoom. Well, you can, but you have to really put cement down. And if you think about a film, the first film I did had 22 actors or something like that, or 22 people working, or 30. So that's 30 people I'm dealing with. And I had a producer, but that producer was also an up-and-coming producer and also an amateur. So, I'm working with up-and-coming people, I'm working with amateurs, I'm working in an area that has no media or has a very deconstructed media, and there's a lot of narcissists around me. There's a lot of bad people. There's a lot of people trying to sabotage me. It is rough out there. So that's the reason why. I mean, I put a bit of a blame on myself, but a lot of the blame isn't me. A lot of it is to do with the way I've been raised. So, like, doing stuff like this, I'd never do, because I thought this was just shooting your mouth off. If you know what I mean by that, I thought this is just sort of lighten a bit. I thought this was. I don't know. I just thought everyone on TV was just stepping up to a podium, just trying. I always felt they were trying to sell something, and I could sort of see through it. They're trying to sell an agenda, but that's how it works, isn't it? You kind of got to be shameless. You kind of got to sell your agenda, which is even what I'm doing now. And it's not that I didn't think I was good at it, or I could do it. I just didn't think I was right for it. And then part of it was like, well, maybe I can do something more interesting. Maybe I don't have to be that person. But then as life goes on, it's like I can't. I'm going to have to be that person. So it took me a long time to even work out how to do this. So that's one of the reasons as well. But yeah, every single turn has been something wrong. My producer becoming an alcoholic. Who's that ever happened to? In the history. I don't think anybody's really quite had a start like I have. So yeah, all I can hope is that I'm building. I'm hoping in the next 3 months I've got everything ready to actually go somewhere. So I feel like soon I'm actually gonna have shit out. Further than that, I'm definitely gonna have like a website so people can check my stuff out. And yeah, so and also I'm sick of blaming the pandemic, but the pandemic did destroy all my deals and set me back a long way. So yeah, there's many reasons why it's hard to get hold of my stuff, or I think there's like at one point there was like 50 people trying to help me get my film out, and I don't even though that failed, like it's just been rough. It's weird because like I've even been doing like a little bit of press for stuff I've been doing, but it's just like it feels wrong doing press for something where you don't know when you're gonna get it released. So yeah, I'm sorry for being a bit of a downer today. I feel like I've got a lot of stuff on my chest now, which is good. I just don't know. I don't think I really know what I really want in this world. Like I thought I wanted to be like an award-winning filmmaker, but I kind of don't think I do. I definitely want to be a filmmaker. That is one true. And I am a filmmaker, but I definitely want to just carry on making films for the rest of my life. That is true. But we're all just, as soon as we leave school, I don't know, there's this thing about being an adult where we're supposed to know what we want. I feel like I knew what I want more when I was a kid. I feel, there's little things I do now where I'm like, the kids version of me would hate this. Like, the kids version of me would think, why am I, you've sold out, but then I guess life moves on, you have to move on, and you have to change with it. I do like change as well. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more motivated after having this talk. I hope. All I'm saying is I understand what it's like to have no motivation. I think we all do. And it's a very moment in your life you have no motivation. you're met with like the devil on your shoulder, like just go lay in your bed and do nothing, and then the angel like angry at you, like you need to get up and do something, and you don't really want to listen to both of them, so you're sort of stuck. And even if you try and force yourself to do something, it doesn't always work. You force yourself, and it's just like the idea of trying to force it. You have nothing left. You have nothing left to give. You try and pick a weight up. I tried to pick a weight up earlier in my room, a dumbbell, and it wasn't even heavy. But I was like, I can't. I just don't have it today. Maybe it's just part of human nature. You know, maybe there are no answers to things. Maybe it's just what it is. Alright guys, I'm going to end this. It's going a little bit. Part of me just thinking, why is somebody going to stay and watch me for 40 minutes? Bitch and moan. That's when there's so much serious stuff going on in the world, isn't there? So many people. My friend, I'm going to change the story. I know of somebody who, you know, really nice kid, but I'm just trying to say people don't know what I'm talking about now, just in case somebody just come across my stuff. He doesn't have much chance in life, let's just say that, and you know he's given an estimated time of when his life might end. But he's just such a, I don't know, it's a beautiful kid, and you know it makes your problem so trivial, but you still can't help being yourself, can you? Like it doesn't, even if you could literally talk to a million people with issues, and I have. Or even when I do my podcast, I listen to everybody's stories and issues, and they do make me feel more down. But then my own issues are just as bad, if not worse. Even though they're not as bad as like some of the shit what I hear, but to me, they're as painful. It's what I really think happened in the pandemic. I think everybody, and rightly so, I think the world had been suppressed for such a long time that when we finally when something finally happened, what was changing the history of the world, we all had a lot to say. Like, there's this funny thing where I end it on this as well. I think it's interesting when people say, everybody's got to have an opinion. That's what people say. People say everybody's got to have an opinion, and then you think, yeah, but you're also the person saying it also has to have an opinion. Everything we say, we have to turn the gun on ourselves. That's the interesting thing. It's like I was talking the other day in a video about loser mentality, where if you do nothing in your life, you can be successful, which I think is true. But then on the other hand, if you also motivate yourself and really grind, you also become successful. So which one is it? Is it down to which one you prefer? Is it down to which one works for you? Or is it down to sheer philosophy? That's the problem. We've got no identity. Like, you know, do you want to be the weed smoking, whiskey drinking, can barely get out of bed person, when you see him in films, looks really cool. Oh yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't identify that person, but I'm like, oh, I identify with that a little bit. Yeah, that's cool. I wish I was like that. And then when you are like that, it's like, I feel like a shit person. So what even are we? I'll leave that with you. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. I don't know what we'll talk about tomorrow. I don't know, let's talk about something upbeat tomorrow. Maybe there'll be a bit more snow as well, so I can actually show off the snow. Alright, have a nice evening, morning, whatever you're doing. And I was literally about to say watch Fear the Walking Dead. Watch Fear the Walking Dead to like season 3 and don't watch anymore. Alright, I don't know why I'm telling you to recommend that. Just watch it. Bye.